Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mania 70 World Cup 2024. And this is the final stream for this weekend, and there's not much else for us to show other than we're going to go to the Semifinals Mappool Showcase for 70 World Cup 2024. I am Mifa, and I'll be commentating alongside Surfchu. How is it going?
Hello. We have indeed gotten a pretty insane weekend. Two tiebreaker matches in the winners bracket that we've seen over this weekend. And yes, I am indeed doing very well tonight. Pretty cold, 1 a.m. in the morning here in the Philippines. Pretty sure it's just hit midnight over your place.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm pretty much excited to see what this showcase has in store for everyone, especially with how escalating the difficulty between this last round and in the semifinals is quite a treat, actually.
Indeed, and as you said, increase in difficulty is definitely the theme here for this Mappool showcase. There are definitely a lot of picks here that picks up the density they're pretty big spikes relative to what we saw from the quarterfinals. But I think we've done enough stalling, and we might as well show what we mean by all that we said. Let's bring the show on as we start with Rice 1, Rejection the Way of Adventure, a chart by Jinjin. This is our primary speed pick. And the difficulty name says it for itself. Delayed Journey. This is an outright delayed chart.
Well, I mean, in a sense, you would call this a delay, but this is more of a dumb style chart.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely delay sections scattered in this chart. But yeah, actually, one theme for this chart is that this is dumped vocally, right? Vocal dumping? A charting style that we usually don't see on 7K, but we see on 4K instead.
Yeah, something along those lines, especially when you introduce, I guess, more exaggerated stream. They're not quite delayed, but at some point it's just gonna mess you up so badly because you would have to make sure you transition to a point where the vocals are synced correctly.
And we're already seeing that dump, like the amount of notes being bombarded into your face, and we're not. And something to note, this is actually one of the shorter picks in the pool, clocking just over 2 minutes. I mean, we've seen the speed picks actually not being a popular pick over the past 3 rounds, but I think this round will be that one round where everything will be changing. I think this might be a bit more of a favored pick, especially in the higher level matches, especially in the winners bracket. I mean, there are some pretty crazy matchups already up there. Even in the losers bracket, there are some pretty crazy matchups. And I think that if you're that team that's a bit more physical, this definitely is a candidate to be protected.
Yeah, it just keeps on going for lasting forever. Actually, there's some more polyrhythmic bits even in the vocalish section. So I guess the accuracy could mean a lot here. Even with an OD 7.5, this feels really difficult to hit.
And yeah, like this intense section immediately ends with a 7-note chord hit, and that ends the first chart of this Mappool showcase.
Indeed, and we actually get to see, I guess, more of a similar theme in comparison to last round's picks. And Rice 2 here, we're gonna have a dense chord stream pick. It's going to be Zik ST by PWHK, your resident chord stream mapper. This is a dense chord stream at 190 BPM, which is significantly harder in terms of BPM, has a lot of brackets, and that's pretty much all there is to it.
I remember somebody mentioned if you can do brackets, like you're already really good. But brackets at this speed is so daunting. Like we're like again, like this pool is indeed a jump. I mean, even from last year, we had sectors from last year, and I'd say this chart is I like hard, like actually hard compared to what we had from last year's dance chord scene pick, and some pretty big hits as here as well. You have to be super careful with these big chords.
Oh yeah, those bracketing things. Even on the outer hand, which is a 1-2-1-2 column, it keeps repeating on and on to a point that you cannot straight sharpshoot this at any point.
Yeah, but there are some sections here that are relatively lighter. I mean, this is sort of a pseudo chord jack section, but then again, like you're only given those mostly to regain your accuracy. Like you should not drop here because once we get to the final third of this chart, I mean, we're about to enter that section. Everything just becomes pretty intense.
Yeah, more chord usage, more of the bracketing shenanigans, sometimes the burst here. Also double stair usage. More of that, more of the same actually for every single thing in this chart.
And these like I think this is actually pretty even on the hands as well. Like even in giving you enough pain. Like like either you just do it like mirror or no mod. I think this is still super painful on the hands. I mean, you already see those mini brackets, one-handed brackets, like go from the left hand and the right hand, and we're more of this bursty big hit charting.
Oh yeah,
And of course,
the bracket
denim
on
bracket.
the middle.
Nice denim bracket right there.
That puts up with
Mhm.
the denser core stream. And I guess we get into more core stream for this next pick.
Yeah. If you think 190 BPM is fast, wait until you see 208 BPM. We have Tinnitus, a chart by Tabatu, and this is Tabatu's MWC charting debut, if I am not mistaken. Or
Yeah,
if not,
absolutely.
debut for this World Cup specifically, yeah.
Yeah, takes quite a bit of while to get going. Just this basic chord S intro. Nothing too particularly hard for most of the 12 teams remaining in this tournament. But once you get to the core stream section, and the chart starts.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, what we had from the previous pick is like, a bit more of a consistency style chart. I mean, you see what we had with Burning Salt from the previous round. It's relatively light. Relatively. I have to put the emphasis on relatively because this chart is a bit more abrasive. You're seeing a few more frill usages here, some pretty heavy chords, some bursty stairs. This is super super relentless, and this keeps on going for the entire chart. Almost lucky at 3 minutes.
Yeah, I believe there will be like a one break in the middle of it after like 40 seconds of the straight fourth stream. But that's the only break you will ever have, actually.
And like, actually, we're not even halfway through the chart, and I can already feel my fingers being tired and not even playing.
Oh yeah, I guess for most of us, even getting tired even after just like 10 seconds of it, you have to endure like almost 3 straight minutes.
Oh, indeed. But they are given a small reprieve at the halfway point of the chart. Though, again, as we've seen from the previous, from all of the matches, really the break sections are almost always the place where you have to be super careful. Any risk you take on the break section might cost you. I mean, we've seen a lot of people find a few breaks in the break section, taking it way too literally, pretty much. And now we're back into more of these more double stair like chord streams now at 280 BPM. And again, like this chart, this is super super relentless. Like once it starts picking up the difficulty, it just won't stop. Like the notes will just keep on falling down and continue to put your hands in pain. Unless like you're a hyper ET like Blocko or my Angel Hisalas we see the replay rain right now. But yeah, another thing to note, as you've seen from this from this pick in particular. There is an increase in difficulty on the chords themes for starting from this round, actually compared from the previous year as well. So that's something to know. Anyway, there is something that we haven't seen yet in this World Cup. So for Rice 4, our primary chord jack pick, we might have something special. And that's the first OSU original for the Oceania 7K World Cup 2024. We have Sidosis Voyage. Again, this is our primary chord jack pick of this round. And as you've seen, it's actually a straight up chord jack chart and not much on the way of 1/4 bursts. So while they're not there to trap you in term to destroy your accuracy, what will trap you indeed is the immense density of this chart. But that's what you get on chord jacks for in general. I mean, I'm pretty excited to see how everything will play out once once the teams are actually going to be playing this chart, I think this is going to be a fairly popular pick. Again, Corjax, very popular.
Yeah. Big shout outs to Cytosis as well for bringing this specifically for supposed to be a 7Q World Cup 2024. Corjax, yeah. Please don't ban this because it's gonna be a one hell of a battle when this comes out as a tournament pick for next week.
All right, I think we can move on now to our next pick, which I'll have you take the introduction.
Yeah, this one is something else because we have a tech pick here. It's gonna be Red Nay by charged by Blocko. This is uh let's just say this is some weird of a mess and a chaotic chart that is.
Chaotic. I mean, we've seen some pretty funny stuff already used in the tech picks, but this is really, really out there in terms of like charting music. But that's what you. But that's the very like, most music that's super useful in these more technical charts.
Yeah, it's just so out there to get you, and it doesn't really gives you any sort of ring. There's just some sort of stuff that most players will hate them, but you're gonna have to play this.
Oh, there are some patterns here that I'd say might be so risky to actually play. Like again, if you're a higher seeded team, this might not be much of a problem. But again, as I mentioned during Rise One, there are lots of charts in this pool where you might want to reconsider your strategy. I mean, there are parts here that I'd say are way more abrasive than we see from Rise One. Like this section in particular is actually, I mean, the polyrhythms here. Like I'm actually having trouble keeping up with how to decode that pattern.
Oh yeah, with OD8. For OD8s for something like this, it's a hell of a step up in terms of like the last round's pick. You cannot cheese it, and you cannot cheese it. So there you go.
Yeah, no, like there's no reason at all to cheese this at all. There's no reason to cheese this because like if you try to, I mean, you'll have to say goodbye to your accuracy. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I think I know there's something about the next one that is pretty special. Mind if you say something?
Yeah. About that, this is the final rice pick, but I would say somewhat similar to a structure to Cosmic Railroad, except this is probably 5 times harder. And I believe there's a saying that if you like trance music, I do hope that you enjoy this because it's a Japanese trance, and it's something that you probably will never ever see from this particular artist. And I believe we should probably introduce this Rise 6. And
And
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Kagaribi. I Jung, shouts to Jung for creating this song in particular for the tournament as well, and I believe this is also a featured artist as well.
yep, and Junk has so, like a lot of tracks actually that were used. Like there, some of them are in the rank section. I mean, 7K players obviously know Qualia, like especially 7K LN players
Yeah,
from my days, or those who were still playing like around 2014, 2015 should be very familiar with that chart. Infamous for being part of the old Osimania LN Dan 2 courses. Like that is an act that is an act tank section chart for that Dan course. But
yeah.
yeah,
Thankfully this one is not the LN one. This is especially well, I
yeah.
guess a hectic is a one word to say about this particular Vic.
Yeah, it's a very, very chaotic. Shout outs to Underjoy who charted this. Like when I saw the chart this like a few moments like before this Mapple Showcase, like my jaw just dropped. Like, mate, this is actually hard.
Yeah.
And I think we actually saw that in the replay. But anyways,
Yeah.
the next pick, which will open the LN pool, is actually a very special one for me because I charted it. We have AR Forests, the last page, and shout out to Makiba as well for collaborating with me on this. This chart is our primary LN release pick, and and those who are familiar with this song pretty should be pretty should be pretty familiar with how this with the music actually is composed. There are two main sections here. Like the first two-thirds of this chart is more of a pretty calm section. Like more emphasis on longer LNs, some more of these. I'd say a bit coordination like. There's some invert sections as we see here. But like everything everything here is actually pretty spicy if I'd say.
Yeah, can't believe we have Surf to late game melons this far into the tournament. Especially you would
Yeah.
normally associate Surf to with low star long ish shenanigans. This one is so different.
Oh yeah. And also before we enter like the second third of the chart, I might as well give a shout out to Yukina Meng, who took an absolutely beautiful picture for the background of this snow chart. He actually doesn't know that I used one of his pictures. He actually took it while we were on vacation back in December. He doesn't
Oh,
know.
good job.
He doesn't know that I used it. He just said that I have free reign to use any of his pictures for Osu map background, so I did it.
Yeah, this is a certified Osu background in that case.
Well, anyways, here we go. Final quarter of the chart where everything just becomes chaotic. Makiba is the one who charted this part, and I'd say, like, if you're able to nail this section, you're golden.
Yeah, that's one way to put it, especially when the release is not staggered enough to a point that you can play it like you almost played as a normal-ish board stream sort of kind of vibe. But no, this is different because the releases are all different.
But yeah, the ending is actually just a full on like a coordination, like just a callback to a certain part of the MWC 7K 2024 map pool lore, which I won't tell. Anyways, let's move on to our Ellen coordination pick, which I think you'll be the one to introduce.
Yeah, absolutely. LN2, which is our Ellen coordination pick, we got Vulnerability by Millie. Chosen by Big Boy Max this year. A lot of similar theme happening with Ellen coordination so far, because last round wasn't difficult enough. This is something else in terms of how you would coordinate your fingers to the point that you almost release it just like the last round.
Oh man, like let me tell you, this chart is hard. For LN2 last year we had Myosotis. Like I remember like when Maxis took this slot, I think I remember Maxis pinging me on the Mappool Discord and then just saying like I'm pretty I'm pretty and then when I saw him take it, I just said like, I'm so excited to see your take on Ellen coordination, and I think he did well. And we're seeing that here, like mini invert sections, some of these bursty stuff. Like I'd say this isn't like your usual standard Ellen coordination, no way. But stuff here, like you have to be super careful. Like the holds here are not exactly the most intuitive of places compared to what we saw from the previous round.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like more of the inverted-ish Ellen denser. I guess not denser per se, but it's just inversed enough to a point that you cannot really make this play like you would play an Ellen density pick, like from like let's say a 8-bit adventure, but in the sense that you would also have to make sure that you get the timings down properly, and then there's this whole inverse like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, and I'd say like if like at least the early game Ellen coordination or Ellen control picks in general, like they're not going to be popular picks, but now like we're going to see more of these Ellen teams really lean more towards their actual advantage now, especially with how these Ellen control picks, Ellen 1 and Ellen 2 respectively, are charted in general. Like we're going to see more of these now from this round on.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
believe that. Yeah, I believe that would be that kind of song that gives you the chilling vibes. And speaking of songs, I believe we probably don't represent enough of a Hololive songs in particular, especially
yeah,
compared to
like
the last years.
yeah, like a 7K World Cup apparently is not complete without an all alive VTuber music in the pool. So for LN3, we have
We have something
Hoshi
called Ghost.
Ghost by Hoshimachi Suisei. And this is our Ellen Dynasty pick, as I mentioned, in the chart by Paul Kappa. Also,
Yeah,
vocal dumping actually.
yeah. So you thought that vocal dumping doesn't exist in LNs, even and in a sense that we saw rejection in as a Rice one pick, but you now got this in LN form.
But yeah, like the start here is actually LN chord jacks. Something that we usually like a lot of charts actually don't employ too much, especially for songs like this. Like we only really see that pattern whenever there's like stuff like that. Like we seldom see that outside of regular songs used in charting. So it's actually a pretty nice change of pace. And can somebody confirm me, especially in the Mappool team, because I don't have all of the songs memorized, but is it this like what the first quote unquote normal song we actually use in the entire World Cup?
I guess so. I mean, I'm not in the Mappool team either, but at the same time, this is just like the most normal song that you could possibly ever pick in an LFSC.
Yeah, like we've had the rhythm game core, we have Denpa, we have like the slow stuff, we have the fast stuff. Like this is just a song. But yeah, mhm.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I would say that this kind of patterns like there is just more of the core jack-ish nature of it. Everyone's gonna probably tank this if you're not careful with the coordinating of the core jacks.
Yeah, another thing is that like the BPM jump here from 8-bit adventure, actually I think we actually lowered the BPM a bit, but the lowered BPM is there for a reason. Like we see the density here, like some outright OT jam-ish patterns in that guitar solo, very beautiful. Like like on stream it looks very hard, and of course it is. I mean we're in the semifinals and all, but again, like these patterns are the reason why 7K, like some 7K players actually like to play 7K. Like hitting patterns like those are a massive motivation for a lot of us 7K players.
Yeah, not only that, it is also in its chart form, it is aesthetically pleasing to look at. So if you're able to nail those, you'd probably feel more satisfied.
Now here we go, this actually like some reverse shields as well. Like those are absolutely hard to hit at this BPM.
Yeah, no joke. It even introduces some sporadic reverse shield and whatnot, even with the full inverse nature of it. But that's pretty much all there is to it. It's long, so I guess you would maybe have to contend with it for like 3 minutes long. But that's the gist of it for Ellen Density.
Yeah, and that should end it for our LM density pick of this pool. And I'd say, like, unlike what we had from the previous round, LN3 was a bit more like the standard Osimania style LN density. Now, this is more of an O2 Jam ish kind of charting. I mean, it's there for a good reason. Because for our next pick, the LN4, which you will be introducing, is pretty fun.
Yeah, Revolt by Getty. You can love it or hate it. I honestly have neutral opinions about this. Ellen Mix on this late game is something else, actually.
Oh yeah, I mean, now unlike what we saw from the previous round, this is something that you would expect to be in the Oceania rank section, but this is, but in a way, it's still different. Like, this is super technical. Um, like I remember like during the testing phase as well. The jacks that are used in this chart are like a something that has been debated on to either keep it or not or something like that if I'm not mistaken. And it's there and it's basically that for a good reason. Like you're given these super abrasive patterns all over the
yeah.
chart, and I'd say this is outright the hardest Ellen pick in this pool.
Yeah, you have like some sort of like a snake LN patterns that are interchangeably different in length. It's really hard to time that properly.
Anyways, just to mention, I think we forgot that this is a collaboration between Remoring and Evening. I think Evening charting LN is something I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, Evening's more proficient in making some sort of like a sort of BMS-ish type of thing in the chart that is just specifically just Rise. But this is something that you would normally not collab with someone that is very proficient on making some sort of a hybrid stuff like this. But this is an LN mix, so we're not getting into the hybrids just yet, but it's already detected.
I mean, to be fair, like the chart is actually super LN heavy. You're just being asked to be able to finesse the chart a bit more. Like the Rise here is more really to help increase the difficulty of the LNs. Like the shield usages here, like mini jacks, they play well into how this thing is just charted overall. Like when you see the Rise, though, it's most likely it's going to be in a shield.
And you get to more stuff like this. The same as happened before, except this is probably more obnoxious even thing.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a hard sell for Rice main teams. I think this might be a candidate for a ban, most likely.
Yeah, especially when you play this as Rice, you're just asking for trouble. For technical LMs like this, it's just so hard to hit.
But also another factor that I might look at, like if this does become a popular pick, this might be coming in a bit later in the match where some players' stamina has already been exhausted, and this does go for long. I'm clocking over 3 minutes. So stamina management throughout the entire match is a must, especially with the pools this difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Endurance is the name of the game in the late game style of pools, and this does no different at all.
All right, I think to open the hybrids, I think I'll let you take the lead.
Yeah, this is our we ventured enough into elements this time. We're gonna go with a hybrid this time. I believe this is also a World Cup 2023 special as well. This is Noif Even by Very Gentle US Ahina. A hybrid that is pretty much generic as it stands, because Wonky does make a lot of generic hybrid picks. It's pretty interesting to see this song being picked for a chart like this.
Like US Original's sound really lends itself very well to VSRGs in general. I mean rhythms in general, really. And honestly, like when I heard this, why does it, I think the first thought that came into my mind was why does it sound like Harlequin?
Well, yeah, it's just because
I
it's
mean,
by the
yeah,
same
to be fair.
artist.
Yeah, but you get the point. Anyways, about the chart again, like more of a generic hybrid, but the way it has started, I don't think like you could really just settle into one style. Like, you have to be careful in general with how you'll be playing this because you have more of these flowing LNs, and then you're led into a pretty technical Rice section. Like it's pretty difficult to transition from one or the other if you're just way into one mindset, really.
Yeah, for what this is, it's surprisingly flowy, for lack of a better word. Even though the LNs are just kind of making some sort of like an inverse-ish type of pattern. But the thing in practice is just really hard to nail this properly, and even you get like a barrage of misses or even 200.
And we're halfway through the chart, and more of these patterns. Actually, one thing as well. We haven't really seen much any repeating patterns throughout the entire chart. So no. Okay, I messed this section up. There's still another one like this. Like you're being bombarded with different patterns throughout the entire thing. So you only have one go throughout the entire thing. No chance to redeem yourself or something like that. And that also makes it hard for practice as well because there's so many things to take note of.
Yeah, I believe that this would also just maybe like qualifies as one of the mini tiebreaker-esque pick, like you would normally see in like the last stage of the qualifier for this tournament. I guess this kind of fits the bill for that theme, but this is just one hybrid, so I'm kind of scared to see on the other two hybrids would be.
Oh man, the other hybrids get crazy, alright. As if this wasn't crazy enough. The pattern actually the ending gets intense, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this particular hybrid, and yeah, I don't know what to say about the because this hybrid is already hard enough, and it kind of makes for a tiebreaker as experience if you don't want to see the tiebreaker for the semifinal showcase. But we still got two more hybrids to go, and this is something else actually. I'll let you take this one.
And for our second hybrid pick, our technical hybrid pick. Alright, what is that replay name, Jinjin? What is that replay name? Yeah, from
Yeah.
24E. Actually, how do you pronounce the title of this song? Anyways, this is our technical hybrid.
Yeah.
And let's see.
24 triple EV0. And takes a while to get going, but the name of the game is that the BPM does increase gradually to a point that you cannot have a break.
Yeah, and that's really the theme for both of these technical hybrids. Like, I think we've been given different treats every round, and at least for the full notes, and actually with the way I saw this as well during test playing, this is, I'd say, the most straightforward of all of the technical hybrids that we've seen throughout the entire tournament as it stands. And yeah, you are hearing that right. The music does get faster and faster. And it's pretty hard to be consistent, like so hard to be too slow or too fast for certain sections.
Yeah, this is just very easy to rush, and as we talk more and more, this gets faster.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop.
I guess this is the only break, quote unquote break, was pseudo break, I would say. But again, this is already running for like almost like a minute or two. And this is like, I don't know what to say. This is already half of it. You know? It's really hard to coordinate.
And now we're thrown a bit more of these staggered hits and releases, and with a faster BPM as well. As it goes, like hacking, this gets gets a bit harder and harder from this point on, as you see from definitely me, who's playing this chart definitely.
Yeah, this is. Well, I guess some people, I would pinpoint that some people might intend that this is probably Delta Max but for Mania. I guess that's a good comparison to me actually. But this is only gets ever worse from now on.
Yeah, now we're seeing some dense patterns now. Like while the patterns are a bit more simple, I mean, they kind of have to just to compensate a little bit for the speed, but those are pretty easy to choke patterns as well if you're not paying enough attention. And I think that that should add
Oh
a
yeah,
technical hybrid pick.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
don't forget
careful with
about
the
those.
ending.
Don't forget about those three LNs because everyone will
Yeah,
probably forget about those.
yeah. I mean, we've seen that happen so many times already in across all tournaments, pretty much. Anyways, to introduce the last regular pick we have in this pool.
Yeah, I believe our next one will still be a hybrid. TNC by Synthesis here, by Critical Star actually. We haven't seen a lot of Critical Star maps especially when we already see Sub-Zero from like Final 16 Tiebreaker. But he's back again, and this time with even more vengeance with the hybrid we have here.
Now for this hybrid, similar to what we have for the technical hybrid, I did mention that we've received different treats every round, and I say this chart is no different for our wildcard hybrid pick. And also, this is our longest regular pick for the entire World Cup. If I somebody could probably confirm that, just clocking under 4 minutes, but again, like we keep the picks just a bit short for a good reason. Like these, Subkey does get pretty physical, especially in the later game, and this is going to be a big stamina drain for those teams who are not prepared.
Yeah, this really acts as a good hybrid for a non-tiebreaker pick. But you combine 24 Triple Evo and or even with the generic hybrid we saw earlier, you get something like this, except this is running at clocking at almost 4.
Yeah. Also, something to note, like the earlier section, like look at the gaps. The release gaps are pretty tight.
Yeah, it only gets ever so tight, but at the same time, you only get OD6 for this. So I guess the timing is lenient enough. But is that really much of a leniency? Because the patterns are extremely dense.
Yeah, like the abrasiveness of the pattern actually just like isn't that alleviated by the low OD setting like at OD6. It's actually pretty much bang on average for what we use for hybrid picks this World Cup. But again, it's like that for a very good reason. This start is fairly difficult as it is, and while it is nice to see the players have a hard time with the pools, making it way too hard just isn't too fun.
Well, I mean, if you make it already too hard, this would already fit on the finals level, but...
yeah. I mean, that could be a possibility. Like, I just remember from Test Play, like, this had to be given a few nerfs, so to speak, to fit the level we are in. Also, yeah, this break section does have one-handed inverts. Definitely a break section.
Yeah, definitely a break section, yeah, but it's more faster paced than most of the other patterns that does exist in earlier rounds though, so I guess that really just doesn't break other than slower BPM, for example.
But yeah, now here we go, like a bit more of these outright horde stream sections. Like we see also a few bursts as well. Like you're given practically everything in this chart, and then you're bombarded immediately with LNs. Like if you're not prepared to read that, I mean, good luck.
Oh, or yeah. Also about that one, the LNs also does tend to get a little bit more staircasey at most. I guess fast-paced staircasey will be the right term for it. But you get shields every now and again, and those are kind of relentless.
Like the patterns here are like super abrasive. Like, I guess you could finesse your way through it like by just like playing it as if like it's a symmetric stair, but I don't. But I don't think like you're given enough luxury to do that even because like these matters are super tense.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's even tighter release timing.
Yep. And also some reverse shields off the course as well with like what a 1/8 gap. Like if you're not careful with reading, this gets crazy.
Yeah, especially with the amount of the being assaulted by those LNs and even this tighter release timings are just it's going to be a wild ride for those who are able to pick this in a tournament scenario. But I just cannot imagine the 12 teams that are going to be battle against each other.
Yeah, like again, this pool definitely gets super crazy, but the craziness doesn't end with this pick because
Yeah,
coming up next, yeah,
this coming up next. Yeah, this does not get any more better than this because a
special,
lot of people have
special.
a lot of people have been wanting to see what kind of difficulty that we're gonna be aiming for this particular tiebreaker because I do
Yep.
know you do have the full picture for this though.
Yeah, I mean, I only knew what the tiebreaker was actually like a few minutes, like a few hours before the showcase. But honestly, enough stalling, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Oceania 7K World Cup 2024 semifinals tiebreaker.
Let's find out and have fun.
Salvation. We are all connected. frightening dystopia. Wisdom begins in wonder, power, energy, courage, focus. We are all connected.
And that is the end of the semifinals Mappool Showcase. And we're gonna give a quick, massive shout outs to Akiri for this amazing creation of a tiebreaker for semifinals, and as well as alongside the opposite creation as well for the graphics, Alex Dung Pineapple, Sakura006 for the video, and the storyboard as well for Melon Boy. And for the five map press that contributed a lot to this tiebreaker, Liju, None, Makiba, Blanco, and Akiri themselves.
Yup. For those who aren't familiar with Akiri, actually, some of us in the mania scene have been pretty familiar with their works. Some of their original compositions have been featured in multiple OCMA tournaments as well. If I am not mistaken, the four-digit Mania World Cup for 4K as well has used one of their tracks. The Philippine Nationals last year also had Akiri as well do their grand finals tiebreaker. Like, it's a pretty big honor to have someone native to us in Osamania be featured this way in the World Cup.
From a player to a contributor in composing designs, and that is one hell of a creation that is. Especially going a long way from a 4-digit into a 7K World Cup 2024 in an official capacity.
Also, by the way, we just received word the original OSZ, the pack here, for this map set is actually 440 megabytes.
Yeah,
we just received word.
Yeah, we're looking at almost a half a gigabyte. So, if you want to save space, then just, I guess, I bet you don't, because you should download with the video as well and the storyboard. So
Yeah.
you get to see in all of its glory.
But yeah, also, I think I'm not. like, at least from what I've known. Actually, let me confirm before I say it on stream. Keep stalling.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's pretty much it for like I guess the whole shenanigans with the originals that we have for this round in particular. Especially we got 3 originals coming up for the for this next week's round of tournament picks. I believe that would be like especially of a much more of a reason to not ban some of these songs because they put a lot of effort into making this happen, and that is not so much of a massive thank you as well for the all the content creators out there as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely cool to see this, and massive thank you to everyone involved in the Mappool selection for this round. Also, I have received the thing I was supposed to confirm. Yes, the originals made for this round, and I think for further rounds as well, are going to be pushed for ranking. So you'll be seeing these charts in the rank section as alongside other. So a lot of the custom charts that are made for this World Cup. I mean, there's a lot of them. So
Yeah,
7K players will be eating throughout the next few months.
Yeah, yeah, we did get Raindrop, which is already like ranked at this point in time. So I guess there's more to come soon, and I believe all of these 3 originals might also be in contention for ranking this sooner than later.
Yeah. And I think that's it pretty much. Good luck to all of the players, and please don't ban Rice 4 and 6. And please play the tiebreaker in the match. We're definitely begging you guys to do so.
Yeah, especially for those teams that are very tightly seeded. Just please get to a tiebreaker and try not to ban the original.
I mean, we're definitely not influencing your decisions, but for the sake of featuring the music made for this World Cup on stream, like with your gameplay on it, is going to be a very big honor as well for you guys. Yeah. Before we wrap this baby up, I think we have a few things to say. The OC Mania 7K World Cup 2024 team support banners are up on the OC store. If you guys have the financial capability of buying all 24 of them, please do so. If you want to show this, please show your support to all of the teams in this World Cup, whether they're eliminated already or not. They still deserve your support. And if for some reason you bought the winning team's banner, it's going to stay there for just a tad bit longer.
Yeah, you're gonna save some trouble if you buy all 24 banners, which maybe we don't encourage it specifically, but if you buy all 24 banners, then one of the winning team will probably get to keep the banner for as long until for the next World Cup as well. And all the proceedings will also go and funding the Mappool prize as well.
Yeah, and it's been an honor to actually introduce the first OC Original tiebreaker for this World Cup. I hope it's the first. I hope I'm right with saying it's the first. I hope.
Yeah,
I'm right.
I mean, I was right as well because
Yeah.
this might be the first of many, especially for the later rounds. But we won't promise that because that's still on the Mappool selection team that are doing this heavy lifting for the World Cup.
Also, again, massive thank you to everyone in the Mappool selection team who have contributed to the Semifinals Mappool. Again, good luck to all of the players, and that ends the OC Mania 7K World Cup 2024 Semifinals Mappool Showcase. This is Serp285 and me in the commentary booth. I hope you guys had fun, and see you guys next weekend.
See you guys next week.